Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Johnny here with MDI. So today we're having our first live stream for Pilotcine and introducing their new product, which is a 10-inch monitor, the RX. I'm sorry, not monitor, light RX50. And today we're going to bring two guests with us. They're going to be talking about. We have first Mr. Scott Dumas from Japan. Welcome. And then we also have Mr. Scott Morrison here in Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome both you guys, gentlemen, to be here in our show. We wanted to let's start with Mr. Dumas over there. Japan is what, 6 o'clock in the morning right now?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay, so it's not really that early. So I was okay with it. So would you like to introduce yourself a bit to everybody?
Sure. So I'm, I guess, a filmmaker and a YouTuber. YouTube is probably the main thing. I do little jobs here and there for promotional videos, sometimes TV commercials, sometimes photography as well. And my YouTube channel, if you're not following it, you can find me just by searching my name, Scott Dumas. And I do reviews for lights, for monitors, lenses, microphones, and sometimes just straight photography gear as well. And yeah, you can find me, just search Scott Dumas, and that's about it, I guess.
Cool. And now we're gonna go to Mr. Morrison. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Scott Morrison. I have a company, Discovery Photo. I've been a full-time photographer for about 30 years, doing everything from legal, corporate, industrial, architectural, a lot of portrait photography, and crashing parties on the weekends. I'm also a cinematographer and do a lot of gaffing for the local movie industry here. Excellent.
So for all the viewers right now, if you have any question about this light, feel free to type into your comment, and we'll highlight them on screen and respond to you right away. We do have lots of different people we saw. Dennis, welcome, and Ron George, Scott, Gino, and Vince. They're all the people. We actually have 11 people watching right now, so we're getting there. We're going to increase. So let's start with, either one you can start with first. How do you like about this thing? Because I know they come with this packaging, this box, and then come with this beautiful, really, really nice carry bag. And then eventually you have this lighting here. So tell us a little about this. So what do you guys think about this light? Either Scott.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I've been impressed with, I guess you could call it, the versatility. You've got power options, including V-mount power on the back here, as well as a built-in battery that can actually last, I think it's around 2 hours. So you can really expand the power, how long you need to use it, even without having to use a cable. And you can also just really break it down and have it really minimal. You can see here the light itself is not much thicker than like one of these little pocket lights. So if you take off the barn doors, which you can also do very easily, if you take it off of this yoke, which you can also do very easily, it's a very compact yet powerful light, and you can power it, again, V-mount battery, internal battery, or external battery. Power, excuse me here, the mumble, it's early. Plugging it into the wall. So I love the power options. I love that you have different mounting options. You can adjust the diffuser here, which you may have saw in that little intro video. If you just loosen these screws, you can slide this back and forth. There we go. This is awkward to do while I'm trying to make sure that it's visible on the camera. There you go. So you can pull it in real close, or you can push it an inch or so away from the surface of the light. And this actually does make a difference. When you pull it further away, it will diffuse it more. You don't have to deal with that multiple shadow effect that you sometimes get with panel style lights. And you can remove it from this yoke, like I said, which maybe I'll do later. And you can also mount it horizontally. This is probably too low to see, but you can mount this way here. So if you have trouble to tilt this to the right angle because the yoke gets in the way when you try and tilt it forward like this, then you could just mount it this way onto the light stand, and then you still have a bit more movement to angle it how you need it. So I like that versatility as well. It's just a very versatile light, and it has, of course, both bicolor and RGB built into it. Has Wi-Fi. It pretty much has everything that you could possibly need, and that's been very, very useful. So
very nice.
That's my takeaway.
Yeah. What about you, Scott Morrison?
Yeah, I agree. Everything that you said was true. I just found it a good quality build. Like the case is amazing. Fits in there. There's plenty of room for extra cables if you want to put any kind of filters or extension cords, whatever. It's great for that. As you see, I have mine. Let's see over here, mounted sideways, so that on the C stand there. So talking about the versatility. So I have it mounted like that. Yeah, and we were talking about the app. I have the app here on the phone, and it's turn this on, and it's great. So right now it's on blue, but you could change the color fairly instantly with that, and you could change the density and the brightness. I mean, really easily. So I loved it. I mean, we didn't get instructions with it, and within a few minutes, I felt really comfortable with all the features and functions of it. I mean, I figured it out fairly easily. So.
All right, so we already have question here, so I'm going to show the question on the screen for you guys to see. Here's the first one. What are the dimensions of the light? Which one of you want to answer that?
Sure, I'll go ahead with that. It's a 10-inch light, so if you want, I can grab a tape measure and measure exactly, if that's how specific you'd like to know in terms of thickness and everything like that. But it's a 10-inch light, yeah. If you want to see it compared to one of the original RX1s, you can maybe see it's probably about 4 of them, maybe just a little bit less than that. This is kind of pushed into the corner here. Yeah. So it's about 4 times the size of one of these, which was a good size pocket LED to begin with. So.
Excellent, excellent. We have another question here from another Scott.
It does not. The one that we got, it did not come with a diffuser. There's a diffuser built into it, which is in the front, but it doesn't. The RX1 had like a rubber, like a sleeve or something that came with it. This one, ours did not.
All right, so let's see. We got more questions coming in right now already. That's cool. Actually pretty cool. Okay, so Scott also talking about the V mount. So actually, the V mount actually is already in the back here, and you just basically slide in here. You know what I like about this? Once you had a V mount like this battery here, it can probably last for a whole day. The V mount is over. If you use out the battery, you can continue to have the internal battery going on at the same time, still continue on. So, technically speaking, if the battery lasts 8 hours, the V mount lasts 8 hours. You have 2 hours more in the internal battery, so that's a total of 10 hours going there.
Wow.
So it can go forever. Let's see, we'll get more. There's more questions here going on. So let's see. All right, here's one from Kyle.
How much does it weigh?
I have a scale. Just a second.
God has everything.
He is prepared.
He's prepared, yes.
All right, so we want to know, including all of the barn doors and everything, I guess.
Right.
As I try and rip this off the table here. There we go. How can I lay this down? It is just over 2.5 kilograms, if we want to change the units. That's 91.5 ounces, 5.7 pounds. More or less.
Huh.
That's everything here, without a battery.
Yeah, and that's probably...
It's a good, solid feeling light.
It does feel very solid.
And also, this is what Pauline was asking. Mr. Morrison, you want to answer that?
Yes, it has an internal battery. It says, the question is there 1 or 2 battery light? It is it has an internal battery, and then you could also get the optional V mount for it, and then you could put 1 more battery on there. V mounts come anywhere from 40 to probably 200 milliamp, and that'll last you, like I said, anywhere from 4 to 8 to 10 hours of life.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we guys have more before we go into the feature of the slides, because people are already asking questions, which is good. So it is softening up for skin tone. So
yeah, I'll answer that one. I did a photo shoot when I first got the light, and I found that I did use a layer of opal over it. Yeah, you could look at some of the shots there, and I did have a diffuser. That was kind of my setup there with the D5 Mark IV and the single light. And I had, if you look over to your to the side there was a layer of diffusion over it. And that's the results with diffusion about 2 feet away. We shot about 400 ASM ISO. And I also used the diffusion from above.
You know, I did not take a picture of that one.
Yeah, and then that I used the light actually with the studio strobe, and I used the RX50 as a background light.
Cool, cool. All right, moving on. Let's see what else. Does it have a place for gel? Mr. Dumas, you want to answer that?
I mean, there's no dedicated slot, but with barn doors, you could clip or tape it onto the barn doors,
Right.
or onto even the back of the barn doors, because it does move away from the light.
Right.
And it doesn't get so hot.
In between there, yeah.
Yep. And there's that diffusion, which is built into the barn doors, but you could unscrew it and take it out of there if you wanted to. There's a little screw. So you could set it up in some different ways depending on how you need it. But it could, I think, pretty easily be used with gels.
I think there is gel available. Because this is very new. We got it like a week ago, and we're trying to figure out how this works. I think there's a gel you can attach, because I think this filter here can be removed, right?
It seems like it would be meant for that, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so that might something I can do. Right, you guys are continue asking questions. So
I mean, it's also an RGB light, so you have gels built into here,
exactly.
Right.
even to simulate Roscoe or other gels, I believe.
Yep.
You can.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, within the
So,
app.
Yeah, so
All right,
if you
Miss,
need a gel or not.
We have one. Does the power type that determine how bright it gets? I don't think so.
I haven't noticed that, no.
No, whether it was.
I mean, you can
whether
throw it
was
on to
18 or
100% power
Yeah.
and then remove the battery, and nothing changes. So
Here's some Mr. Ron George. And I think Scott Morrison, you already did show different colors, right?
It does. Well, there is a. Does it flash in different colors? Well, you could do different patterns. There's a police. Sure, there is.
Yeah. So they also just right
Yeah.
today before we sign in, we actually got the new firmware update.
Yes.
We haven't had a chance to play with it. You actually can customize the type of light you want to do in there and play with that. We just didn't have time to actually do that yet. Let's see what else. Okay, this is a good question on Dennis. Anyone? Real life lumens.
I did, but I can't remember offhand.
I think Scott, you did that too, right, Mr. Morrison?
Turning mine off. The lumens. I did measure the lumens, and it was. I think it was 6. What was it? 6,200, 6,200 lumens.
Sounds about
I
right.
think was what is what we measured it at.
Yeah. You cool? Oh, he has more questions. Jesus.
For the mounts on the sides. Yeah. There's the quarter 20 screw thread on the bottom here. It looks like a removable adapter. If you have a 3/8 inch mount, you could use that, of course. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. I haven't seen
And we talked about it, but I didn't show it. You can remove the light from here very easily, and it has like cold shoe type attachments on the side here. That's how it attaches to this yoke. So if you wanted to do something with one of those, I guess you might be able to.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another good question. What is the color accuracy? TRI, TCLI, and etc.
I think it was 95, 97, something like that. It was high. It was good.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. Bear with me a little bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about this this light. What's included in all the different features of this case itself. So which one you guys want to talk about this? What's around it? We have our on and off power here. We have a USB. Is it USB-C? USB 3 port
Correct.
that you can use to power something else or power like a monitor and such. There is a DMX external connection, so you can actually connect that to DMX, which I don't know how to use that. You have
Like a DJ light. You can hook them all up.
DJ, yes. Here's another thing, cool thing about the Pilotcine. Pilotcine have a lot of all their lights. You can actually control them together or on sequence through one app. So like Mr. Dumas here is showing it in the back here. You have a you can tell us because
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it's pretty simple control. You've got 2 buttons as well as a third button in the center of this wheel here. So I hope you can see this. This is facing, no, upside down, okay.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
So you've got, in this case, the hue and saturation as well as the intensity control. This wheel will make adjustments to that as you would usually expect. If you press the setting button, it'll jump over to the other of these 2 settings. So saturation, you can dial that down or dial that up. If you press the button in the center of the wheel, it'll jump to your intensity, and then you can adjust that. And it starts out from 10% in HSI mode, I believe 5% in white light mode, and then it will jump up in 1% increments. Pretty simple. If you press mode, you can jump through the CCT mode, HSI. You also do have other modes like RGB, DT. You got some effects, but I believe you have more effects from the app. This has 4, 5 or 6, I can't count, built into it from the light itself. And you've got your system set up and different controls and stuff built into the menu here. I'll go back into HSI mode for now. Pretty simple to use. Like Scott had said before, we didn't get instructions and it was really easy to get up and going with it within no time.
cool. Thank you. Sure, let's see. Okay, so we have this question from Mr. Burgess. How does the Trove compare to an Arri?
Well, which Ari? First off, you're talking about a tungsten, and you're talking about it's actually really nice. It's a good softer light. The barn doors actually work really well. It does control the light really well. You can bring it in and control it. And I'm sure if you put a grid or something in front, that would also help control it pretty well.
So he had also a follow-up question about the power. Well, you can actually, the power out is only 12 volt. So which means that probably the best thing you can power that would be a monitor, which I don't know how why you want to power a monitor next to the light. I haven't figured out all the stuff you can do it, but like camera-wise, you usually need to have a 14.5 volt for live magic pocket 4K around that time, and then for the GFI is maybe 8.7. You potentially can do that, but I don't think I want to try it out that way anyway. So, and then here's a brush. He was talking about comparing to a Arri tungsten.
Yeah, this is really bright, and the advantage of this is that an Arri tungsten is 2800, 3200 Kelvin, and this could go everywhere from 25 to I think 8000 Kelvin, and it does all the RGB colors, so it's a little more versatile. Depending on which Arri you have. I mean, I have a 1K. It's definitely not as bright as 1K, but it's definitely it's bright.
And he has also another follow-up question. I am not sure about that. So either one of you guys want to answer that?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Since we don't have the manual, so we just had
I don't know if it says right. First part, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just see on the light it says DC in 17 to 20 volt, 2.5 amps. That's what's labeled on the light.
So I have 38% of the light right now in 25K. And you can see my living room is being lit up. This is dark living room. And you can tell once I turn it on, you can basically see almost everything. And then we can go a little brighter. Of course, I don't know how to use this very much. I only use it a few times. There you go. It'll increase to 100%. So that's 100%. You can see the background too. Anyway, so here's Kyle, another question. What's the range of Bluetooth control?
I don't know. It goes from one end of my studio to the other. My studio is 20 feet by 10 feet, and it works perfectly well within that area. That I could tell you.
Yeah, so we've been told the Bluetooth is the latest Bluetooth technology.
Right.
They also what they call it Mesh 2.0. So basically, you can have you can control multiple light sources at the same time, similar to the RX1, but better control. And actually use the new app too. The new app will be eventually be used for RX1 also. Right now it's only for the RX50 and the RX7. So that's we are aware of. So I'm going to show the video from Scott Dumas. He prepared together, so you guys can enjoy this. Once again, I really love the bags.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to talk about that for a minute,
Sure,
because
sure.
it is actually a nice part of the light,
Right.
especially for something so portable.
Yeah, so you want to, Mr. Dumas, you want to go ahead and demonstrate
sure.
the bag?
So I've got mine right here. Let's see if I can. Okay, is this visible on the overhead camera? So.
There you go. You can see it.
All right, so God, that's tight. But inside, if I'm able to show you this, it has the section for the light itself, which has a padded divider and this Velcro strap so it doesn't just fall out when you open it. So that'll hold the light right there, and it fits with the yoke on there, so you don't have to remove that. And then the other section has this big open space, as well as, okay, I wish this camera was a little wider, 2 little pockets here, and I've just split the adapter, the charger I guess you could call it, into the 2 parts and tuck them in there. There's plenty of space in here for everything you need. Let me go back to this camera for a second. This little bottom section here from the yoke actually will need to come off to fit into the bag. So, get this out of the way. This bottom mounting point here can just unscrew the same way as the actual barn doors can unscrew. So you'll remove that, and that's all there is to it. I think I just dropped something. But that will then go into the bag as well. It's got a couple of pockets on the front, so if you wanted to put this in one of those pockets or put something else in one of those pockets, if you have some diffusions, sheets of diffusions or gels or whatever you want to put in there, there's plenty of storage space, and it's a nice quality bag. You've got a zipper in the back as well. It's like closer to a camera bag than a LED bag, but very, very nice. You've got these metal handles, like a leather type, I don't know what you call it, cover that snaps closed to hold these together. Very, very nice bag.
Yeah, I can tell you this. Every packaging I received from Pilotcine has been beautifully put together and well packaged, and very well thought out. I mean, they are a good company from Taiwan, and they produce really good quality products. So we're gonna have a couple more questions already here. So we have one from Glenn. Does the brightness dim down as the battery level goes down, or the brightness remain the same, then suddenly shut down when battery is empty? That's a very good question.
I would say in general, most LED lights like this, they will pretty much just shut off. They won't have a dimming or something. It does have a gauge on the back, so you can tell when you're getting low. I used it for about 2 hours, and I still had probably 3/4 of battery left. So I never let it run out completely yet. So,
I
but
have actually, and it did just shut off, like you
yeah,
say, with most LED lights. I was powering it by
that's what it
battery. I
is.
think the internal battery was
Yeah,
dead, so once that battery died, it was just out.
that's what I would
Yeah.
expect. Yeah.
Here's another one. Does the button have the button has a 1/4 inch screws hole, not a screw, that you can actually, let's say, make it bigger for you. There you go. Go ahead, point it again, Mr.
Right
Dumas.
there.
There you go.
I don't know if it's in
Right.
focus now. I think it
Yeah, I
is.
can see
Yeah.
it. We can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can actually attach the light stand.
It also has the cold shoes on either side too. That if you had some sort of tripod or stick you wanted to put it to, you could do that.
Yeah. Here's Pauline's question.
They are metal, and they are solid. They're well made. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to comment on that too was that everything here feels really, really, of course, high quality, but it just feels very finished and polished. There's no rough edges. I have used lights before where I've literally cut my hand because some of the little corners on here are a little bit too sharp or unfinished, or something somewhere isn't quite smooth. This is really, really a finished, polished, smooth, high quality light.
Yeah. All right. So there's one question from him that Mr. Brochus, that we didn't answer. I think it does, but since my internal battery has always been full, I wouldn't know.
I'm pretty sure, I'd say like 83% sure, it does not charge the internal battery, but when you have the V-mount on there, it'll take power from the V-mount first,
Okay.
and then when that dies, it will switch over to the internal battery. And you can't oppositely charge the V-mount through the light either. It doesn't work that way, I'm pretty sure.
Well, so at least you have 10 hours. Let's say the V-mount can last 8 hours, and you have another 2 hours going on, so you can still have 10 hours. And I know you can plug it in while charging internal battery can keep it on anyway.
Right.
So at least that part you can use it inside the studio, indoor, anywhere that has an outlet.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have, this is a very tiny battery, and this will more than double the length that you can use this light. If you have the internal battery plus this, you can use it for 4 or 5 hours on 100% power easily, I think. So it doesn't need that much power.
In photography, for Mr. Morrison, so how would you use this most of the time? As a field light, or as a direct light that you did, the demonstration you did, or a combination of both?
I could use it for everything, like I did in the test. First, I used it as my main light, as to light the subject, and then I used it in conjunction with regular strobes, either as a key light, a fill light. I used it as a background light, an effect light, and that was the main thing, because it does have the RGB colors. So if I wanted, a blue gel, I don't need to get a gel anymore. I turn that on, put it to blue, and set the intensity and the level to whatever I wanted, and it was really easy to use, and I thought the results were great.
And what about for you, Mr. Dumas?
It's pretty close to the same experience. I feel like it can do quite a lot. Where there's been a situation that I just need a little bit of a fill light, I guess kind of a key light, but just matching existing light and then making it look nicer. I've used this for that. And again, the bicolor design, you can just check the color of the existing light and then match this to it. So it blends together really nicely. Like Scott is doing, you can use it great as a background light. I have a pop-up gray background, and you can throw all kinds of colors, RGB colors onto the background with this. It's really, really nice. It's got a nice soft fall off for that. And if I'm doing close-up tabletop photography, or videography I should say, I'm doing a lot of food type stuff, so detailed shots. This is more than enough for the key light, and it looks really, really nice. Depends on the distance you are from your subject, I guess. It's going to make more of a big difference.
Yeah, and I could also see using it outdoor as a fill light also.
Yep, when you don't really need that much.
Shadows, and with the fact that you could change the color temperature to whatever you want to match the environment, I thought that was great.
Exactly, yeah.
So, seems to me that you both like this light a lot.
Yeah.
Is there any cons that you don't like about the light, that you wish that would be better, or something that you wish that I can make a little bit certain way that for your benefit or for your desire?
That's a tough question. I don't know.
I have a couple. I'm picky.
All right, go ahead. Mr. Dumas, you can go first.
Just little details, and I don't even know if these are all going to be present on the final version or not. Some of them might be improved, but like for example, to remove the barn doors, you have these 4 screws here. Let me try and do this without dropping anything. There we go. So you remove those 4 screws. There's one more. And I actually broke one of my screws. I'm sorry. It's not a comment on the poor quality. I did that. So ignore that. So that just comes off like that. But then there are these little kind of fillers. Let me show this a little. Like these little things here, which come off. Where's my focus?
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, from here. So these little things, this is the one that got stuck and got broke. I tightened it too much. But these will come out of here on the bottom too, as I'm dropping them. These are things that I will probably lose. I don't know how necessary they really are. I guess they are. These are where the screw threads are actually located. It's not in the light itself, if you can see there. So if you lose these, you can't really screw those barn doors back on. So that's kind of a bummer.
All right, so make sure you don't unscrew your barn door. That's a bummer.
I just feel like it could have been better implemented. I don't know why they have so many little things like this that are easy to lose.
Something that you probably do for the version 2nd or the final. I think our version is still the prototype version because they just
that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And that's the one big glaring thing that stood out to me. Other thing is just really little picky details. Like, I wish that to remove the diffusion from here, you didn't need an Allen wrench.
Cool. Yeah.
If that was also a thumb screw, or even just if it clipped in there.
I thought it was
speed.
Yeah, I thought it was a magnet that you could just. I think
that would be great too.
Yeah, a magnet would be nicer.
Yep. So just little things like that. Like I said, I'm picky, but.
I mean, all right. I mean,
good points though. I like. Yeah, good points.
Good points. Good points.
I'll just leave this
all
up
right,
for now.
So did we ask this question? Yeah. That we don't know, Scott Burgess. We don't know whether or not if the 12-volt out works from the V mount or the internal battery. I'm very sure if Mr. Dumas said correctly that whatever you have, if you're using the V mount, you're using V mount battery power, so that probably coming out from that power source. It's potentially what it will be. So, and then we have this question here from Biz. We know for a fact you can connect, you can control as many as up to 50, I think.
It's a lot.
Oh no, 65535 live connection.
Just in case you have a big budget.
Yeah.
So that's basically 65,535 live connection that you can do through the app. So that's a lot.
A little limiting, I guess.
That would be fun to control.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the USB-C port. Just because actually, no, it's a USB. It's a USB 3.0 port. I don't know what's used for it because we didn't have a manual yet, so we couldn't figure that out.
I think you can power it actually via USB, but you need a powerful power bank, something that's like meant for computers, for example. I think it's 30 watts power delivery or something. But I believe you can actually power it from that USB connection.
That'd be cool. Then I have a whole bunch of power sources for it, and it can work.
Right.
Yep. But I believe he said to stress that it is a powerful power bank that is required, like meant for laptops.
Right. Yep, up to 65,535 devices. Okay, that's a lot of light. All right, so the price of this, they're currently actually having available for sale. And let me pull something up quickly here. You can get additional 10% discount by using the code underneath the screen right now. And that's only valid to in January 31st at 11 o'clock at night. So just keep that in mind. You get 10% discount. So the price at Pilotcine website is $679 right now. That's a $70 saving already. And then you can apply that 10% into there. That will help. So it's a solid light. We were just discussing about this earlier about the price. So, I mean, Mr. Dumas, you mentioned about the price, and maybe it's a solid light for this price range, right?
Yep. Like I said, it's going to be out of some people's price range for sure, and maybe more than they would like to spend for a light like this. But I think if it's in your budget and you get it, you're not going to be disappointed because the quality is there. So it's just not something that everybody needs, but if it is something you need or that you have the budget for, it's not too much price for the value, I think.
Yeah.
And they do have some options. You mentioned, I think, $679. I can't remember numbers. But that's for the full kit with the V-mount battery plate on the back. And right. I think there's some other differences. There's 2 or 3 different options you think you can get.
The Platinum and then the Deluxe. The Deluxe version went over. Let's see. The website actually newly built too, so it oh, wait a second. It doesn't show up anymore. It's not your website anymore. You used to have 2 pricing, but now it's only 1 pricing.
Really?
Yeah.
So maybe forget what I just said. Ignore that.
Forget what I just said. Yeah, there was one. We saw earlier. It was there's a one version without the V-mount and one version with the V-mount.
Right. But either way, I would highly recommend if you spring for a light like this that you should just get the V-mount version. It adds so much more flexibility to it, and just having the battery power instead of having to drag cables around. That is one other complaint I had, actually, now that I mention it. Let me pull this out. Is that the cable is not that long. This is maybe, you can see how long it is. 1.5 meters on this half, and then about the same on the other half. So it's not the longest cable that I've used. So if you are planning to power this and use it while it's plugged in to the wall, a slightly longer cable would have been nice.
So take it back. I did find it. I was going the wrong direction. So the deluxe version is $629. So it's $50 less for without the V-mount. So I think
go
that's
for the V-mount.
I would just get the V-mount just because this way it's more portable. You can use anywhere.
With the size, it's just so nice to be able to not have to think about cables and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
It's worth it.
All right, so we have another question here. That we don't know.
Is Ryan here in the chat room?
I don't know. Is Ryan?
He is actually. He is on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, he's on Facebook, but he's not in this group, right?
Should ask him. That's a good question.
The small part. Okay, he did ask a question. He just responded on Facebook. He said something about the small part. There is a plan for multi-light connection purpose. So I think a USB port, right?
I think he's talking about these little pieces, maybe.
Yeah. The ones that the little square pieces.
Yeah,
so
that was
put multiple lights together. Maybe
that was my original thought.
Yeah.
Because they had the same type of system with these little ones where you could connect 3 or 4 of them together. So I assumed this was some sort of modular design. Still not crazy about it.
It's so you can connect multiple of this together and become a big panel.
Yep.
So you can carry.
Which is nice in its own way.
So Ryan is on the chat room. Actually, he's actually watching it too.
Hi, Ryan.
So is there any plan offering gold-mounted battery option? I don't know whether he knows the answer either, but hopefully he can answer that. But yeah, I definitely recommend that if you're going to check out the website. It's very new. It just came out. Just came out recently. It's this website. And remember, you can use the 10% discount code while watching this. You can use the code to January 31st. December. That's a while. So you got to think about doing that. Any other question you guys having? Okay, so
Ryan's answer.
Yeah, he said for now there's no plan yet. Okay, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that you're watching, and you can criticize us later to see how bad we're doing, how good we are.
But this is modular enough. You can remove this plate, and I think there's a little plug or connection under there. So if there's enough demand for it, I don't think it would be that difficult for them to do. Sorry for speaking for them, but it seems like they're open to developing it more in the future with the design that they made.
Yeah, Pilotcine people are very nice people. They listen. They're willing to adapt and make changes need to make sure that
Mhm.
the product works better, because their overall mission is to make sure that you are satisfied with your product. And
Yep.
so, the more you use this product here, or the RX1 or RX7, the new one coming out, the more they will be comfortable,
Yeah, I
willing
mean,
to.
these have still been some of the better pocket lights that I've had, and I've tested more than I can count. These are good lights, and they have been for years. They're solid, they're bright. They're some of the brightest on the market, I think, and they have a lot of the functionality of this, if not all of the same functionality.
Yeah, yep. We have a friend of ours using for the music for a short film shoot, and they didn't need light in this rundown warehouse, and they should basically use the pocket light, because I think Scott Morrison, you were there. You were there with Scott brushes for that, so it
Yep,
worked really well.
we did. We put several around, and some, we were able to use the RGB effect on it and different colors, and it was cool.
So what other?
We used them.
So which one you guys? I think Scott, you can talk about the app a little bit more. You
You're
want
gonna
to
have to
talk
be
about
more specific, which Scott.
yeah,
Yeah.
Scott Morrison. Sorry,
Yeah, I
I
loaded
got
up
two
the app,
Scotts.
and it has several levels to it. So the first one right here is when you're in the RGB mode, and you can just change. You can change the colors, you can change the brightness. I mean, it's all simple. There's preset with reds, the purples. So you just, it's all preset. You can also change the saturation with any of the colors. So that's pretty cool. And then you have your just regular colors. So you could have, at 8,000 or at like 2,500 Kelvin, and anywhere in between. You could have presets on the bottom here to any of the more standard features. You have color correction on the bottom here. So if it was slightly off, you could correct for it, and of course the intensity. I mean, it gets really bright. I'm glad it's facing the other way. More RGB. You do straight to RGB. There's also a picker mode. And then we were talking about the gels. Here are the gels that you can add. There's a whole lot. I know it doesn't show up really good on my phone, but there's probably 50 different gels that you can add to the light, which is great. And then we have the scenarios that we were showing before, like the police and lightning. You could also, there's, like for movies, there's a TV mode, two different kinds, color TV and black and white, and a fire mode. So it looks like imitates a fire or a candle. So, they're fun. Movie makers could use those. I mean, this one, as far as the police, we have used, and it's fun.
There's another mode too, that goes with music, right?
So
For DJ, there's a mode for DJs.
yes, that I have not played with. If you can do that.
Yeah,
It's
we can
two
get
different
it.
songs, and then on the bottom it has.
Yep. So you basically can have the light.
Yeah, it has a light show that goes with it.
We can have party going on or meditation.
Yeah.
Dimming out and out and on.
Then pause that. Let's go back to colors, and there we are. So for me, I probably use this one the most, and the CCT, which uses the regular colors. And I love the fact that it has all these presets. So if you know that you're at 5,500 Kelvin, you can just put 5,500 Kelvin right in there, or you could use the color wheel and just go around and work it like that. It's great.
Yeah. So we have this
That's my cool colors.
And Scott Morrison, you want to answer this?
I don't know. I would assume it would. Is this the same app that is for all three lights?
This is the app only for the RX50 and 7.
Although
Okay.
it looks very similar to the RX1 app,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I believe
does.
did have that gel page.
I'm not sure
Been a
when I
while,
did it,
but-
so I had to look at it again. But they did say that they're going to do a firmware update in the future for the RX1, so they use the same app and get rid of the other app. So everything will be a more advanced app with the gel pages.
Right. Sorry, there's a lot of glare on it.
Rodrigo had this good question. This is a loaded question for both you guys. So who want to answer this first? How
Sure.
long can the light be illuminating the battery? I mean,
So
I use-
the
I use-
built-in battery
Yeah.
is 84 watt-hours, I believe, and they say it's 5,000 milliamp hours. They claim about 2 hours on full power, so it depends on the intensity, or if you're using maybe RGB mode, it might use it up a little differently.
Right.
In terms of V-mount, it depends on the size of your battery. Like I said, I have a 99 watt-hour battery here that's really tiny, but that'll last, it should last 2 or over 2 hours, again, depending on how you're using the light. You could use a big one like Johnny has there and get a lot more use.
this is going to last me about 10 hours probably.
Yeah. Plus, you still have the built-in battery.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's waterproof. There is a kind of grill on the top, this little vent, I guess is the word. I doubt it's waterproof or even anything close to it.
we didn't mention about that. There is a little heat fan inside there to dissipate the heat. I haven't heard it yet to kick in, so
Me neither.
No, I don't hear it. It's very quiet.
Yeah.
it's very quiet, super quiet. So
If I didn't
definitely
see
not
that, I wouldn't even know there's a fan in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
what
the
material?
material,
It's all
is,
metal.
all, what do they say, aircraft aluminum or something like that.
Okay.
Very, very well made.
Right. It's
just
very
imagine the RX1, but 10-inch size.
It really is almost exactly the same, which is good because this is a very, very solid light.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
So,
again,
yeah,
if
there-
anybody missed the comparison, it's about 4 times the size of these. So originally, you could connect 4 of these using a little adapter, but this is basically what that is 4 of them connected.
Right. So yeah, so Mr. Virtual also mentioned about he doesn't seem to see that in the gel page on the RX1 app, so which means
Okay.
that this is a new one. So that's possible. And here's Glenn have a comment, which is kind of good. He's very happy with this product. He also owns the RX1. He loves it so much. Accidentally dropped. How many times did you drop the thing? But solid build, which I totally agree. I totally agree. I think it's solid build, and
Mhm.
I mean, even this is all metal. It looks solid build. I will hurt my pocket or my heart when I drop it by accident. So don't drop.
I still wouldn't want to, but
Yeah.
it'll survive, I'm sure.
Does it get hot at 100%?
Not at all.
Nope.
Zero heat. It was
Yep.
on full for probably about an hour, and I actually touched it, and it wasn't even warm to the touch. I was amazed by that. And you were talking about comparing it to an Ari. If you get within a foot of it, your skin's going to melt off. So, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, because some of these little pocket lights might get warm, but this does have that fan, so it's it's better at controlling that heat.
Yeah, it's totally well built, and I'm very happy to try it out. I'm very sure both Scots love it, so that's for sure. All right, so I'm going to show a video of the RX7 because we don't have it here. The only way we can showcase the thing that we're going to give away today will be that via the video. And after the video, I will explain how you may have a chance to win it. So watch and enjoy the video. That's a pretty cool video too.
Yeah.
So again, that's basically the baby version of this, the young brother of this. So of this product. All right, so this is how you're going to chance to win this product, the RX7. Each one of the Scott will be asking you one question about the things that they talked about today. And the first person typing both answers correctly on the comment in one line, not several, one line only, one comment, and it will be the first person that we see on our screen wins it. I need to make sure that clear because because of the delay, sometimes when you type something in your screen, you type enter, it doesn't get to us until 10 seconds later or so. So we want to make sure that's clear. So it's each one of them going to ask one question. All right, before I continue my comment, I just got a message from Brian. I said the RX7 be the first pocket-sized RGB WW LED built with DMX function. So I'm not sure what RGB WW means, but that's something, it's a new technology, I'm very sure of it.
The WW refers to two white light, I don't know the technical words, diodes.
Yeah.
But usually one tungsten and one daylight, so that means both of those have a higher quality output, more accurate output, instead of just one white light diode that shifts. So it'll give a better performance overall.
Correct.
So that's a new one.
RGB diodes, and it also has the white diodes. Exactly.
Okay, RGB and white diodes. Okay, that's pretty cool. So again, each one of them can ask you a question, and then you had to type both questions in the same comment, and the first person that we see on the screen will be the person that wins the RX7. Mr. Morrison, you can ask your question first, or right after that, Mr. Dumas, you can ask
Sure. How many watts is this light? It's advertised as a how many watt light?
What about you, Mr. Dumas?
Let's say if you're using both V-mount power, if you have V-mount battery on there, does it take power from the V-mount first or from the internal battery first?
All right, whatever person, Papa, you answered the first correct one wins. You have to be two, then it's not one only. They're waiting. Ding, 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 ding. Well, yeah, Glenn, the same thing. Two answers at the same time. So I think we got it right. Is Dan got the right answer?
That's what I saw, yep.
All right, so again, congratulations to Dan. You actually won.
Yeah.
You actually got pole vault and answer first. All right, so if that's the case, Dan, would you mind just send me on Facebook your a message so then I can get your information offline, and then we send it to Pilotcine so they can coordinate with you about shipping you the RX7. And congratulations for that. So we do have a couple of questions here. I think what's the name? Oh yeah, there you go. Scott Brusha had this question. The DMX, what? I don't know what kind of DMX would that be. So, if Ryan, you're watching this, can you give us an idea?
I think I get the joke.
You got a joke? Oh.
The Rough Riders joke.
Well, we're gonna have to ban him in the future, so he can be a very good topics. Yeah, but the DMX is a cool feature. This is the second thing I know I have DMX, but I still don't know how to use it. So
you can get more control. I've never really used in depth any DMX controllers, but it's nice to have it for people who want to use this in a studio, maybe.
Right.
Especially if you have maybe more than one, and you want to be able to control that from one central location.
Yeah, I know the old studio that I was in, the Korean House studio, we had DMX control for the whole lights. So, but the ports are different. Those kind of ports were like XLR type of connectors, right? So it's a little different. But it's a cool thing to have. You know, if you can control 65,000 lights at the same time, you can control them all.
Right.
Definitely not for studio usage. We are at the end of the show, and I really appreciate everybody watching this. Any final comments for Mr. Dumas and Mr. Morrison?
One thing, it's a technical thing that I wanted to mention. I saw in the app, Scott mentioned about the green magenta shift control. You can also do that on the light itself when you're in white light mode very easily. So that's a nice thing to have if you're trying to match existing light that has some sort of shift, whether it's another LED light or if it's ambient light.
Fluorescent, yeah, fluorescence will do it.
Right. It's really nice to be able to dial that in, so you can really match specifically exactly what you need to mix lights. I appreciate having that there.
Mr. Morrison?
Good. I just really enjoyed using the light. It's I'm used to using studio lights for all of my photography, and now I'm starting to incorporate the LED lights as effect lights, hair lights, and background lights, and also as main lights. So it was a great experiment for me, and I'll continue to do it.
Definitely. And Ryan just sent me this Instagram page. Definitely join the Pilotcine Instagram and YouTube account pages. That'll be great. He just mentioned about how many lights the brand RX7 and RX50 supports DMX512 standard. You can have more features, like you can do different DMX2 mesh. You can be more creative, flexible, and easier to construct and arrange a different light, a different combination network system. So basically, if you're in the studio like Create House Studio or any other indoor studios, you can probably change all your lighting system by using this. 65,000. Just think about it. That's a lot of lights, but then you can actually control it easily for all of the places. And again, thank you again, you guys for watching this, and thank you, both you guys, Scott, to being here with me.
Thanks
and
for having
appreciate
us.
the time to spend. Hopefully, you guys consider getting this, and remember to write down your discount, the 10% discount for additional what's already on sale right now. And please join the Pilotcine website, Facebook page, YouTube, and the Instagram account. So this way, so continue to support their products. And we'll see you next time.